And we're live here on Facebook. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land and also those on YouTube, as well as my buddy Rich. If you're watching us, listening to us, or whatever you're doing, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, hit the bell. Rich, how you doing this week?
I'm doing all right, Mike. So second time's the charm, I guess. So we apologize if you got what we call a lip reader special with no audio until about three-quarters the way through our show. So we're gonna go try to keep this under 45 minutes because it's 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And 10 o'clock at night already here in Iowa.
Yep.
So
Rich, what we talking
pretty
about
much
this
some
week?
normal topics. We're going to be going into the NASCAR corner, talking about Darlington and Kansas, the Chicago Cubs, as always, giving you a quick recap of what's going on with our teams in the NBA and the NHL playoffs, as well as talking the NFL for over and under for the Bears. So, Mike, what's the time to do?
It's time to roll the intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And we're back. Okay, first we had a poll question. Rich, this week's poll question, center field from the cheap seats. A beautiful, beautiful day for a ball game. Which did you pick? Why'd you pick it? And I mean, why wasn't it?
Yeah, Mike, I went with "It's a Beautiful Day for a Ball Game." Hearing that song, whether I'm at Wrigley or John O'Donnell, I mean, it's one of those catchy tunes to where I know I'm at a ball game when I hear that song, whether it's being played on the organ or a recording of the song.
Yep.
Just one of those things. I love hearing that song, humming along with it, singing along with it.
Yeah, mine is.
And so that's why I voted for it.
Mine is always. Mine's got to be center field. I mean, it's John Fogerty. It's put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I could be center field. And you know what? That's where our people voted. 5 votes for center field, 2 for beautiful day, and 1 vote or no votes for from view from the cheap seats. This week we're going to do talking baseball. You find whichever one you want. There's a million of them out there. You find them, folks. Rich made the post go live tomorrow at noon, so look for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be going against The Simpsons talking softball. Man, that just brings me back to great memories of riding in Grandpa's van up to Wrigley games. You and I in the front seat enjoying that while all the people in the back were complaining that we're listening to Simpsons music.
Did we? Did we make the people that rode with us up in Milwaukee listen to it?
We did.
I don't remember.
And they complained about it. They complained about it, and that was okay.
I thought that was just something that we did on the ride home.
No, I put it on, and friend of the show Nick Baker and
Hartlett.
No, what was the girl's name? Victoria.
Okay, yeah.
Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria.
Both complained about it, and so we ended up turning it off. But you know, then we made them listen to Strumming with the Devil, and then they complained about that. So, what do you do? You can pick your friends, but you can't make your friends like good music. Okay. Once again, look for that to go live tomorrow at noon. Rich, do you see what's coming up?
Is it a left turn, Mike?
It's a bunch of left turns because we're heading into the NASCAR corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out on 5th Avenue for all your sports memorabilia needs in person or on their eBay store. Once again, that's Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. This week we went to Darlington for the Goodyear 400. Your winner, Joey Logano, in a controversial win. Rich, we'll get to that in a minute. In 4th place came Kevin Harvick, my pick. In 36th place, with a wreck and some engine problems and all sorts of stuff going on, Kyle Larson. Rich, that gives me a 9-5 win.
It does. You're starting to build that gap, so I need to start closing it.
Yep.
Closing it and get some wins here.
Yep.
And hopefully that can start in Kansas. But before we give our picks for Kansas, Did you get to watch any of the race, being that it was Mother's Day?
I did not. We were
Yeah.
busy and we were doing other things, so it was fine.
Neither did I. I started watching the race while we waited for my folks, to come and pick us up to go out to dinner in Makokata. And I watched the end of the race. Was it clean? Was Joey Logano? Did he take it too far doing the bump on the last lap to get that pass on Willie B,
On
or
the last
was
lap,
that just racing?
on the last lap, Rich, you bump your best friend, your mama's best friend, and your wife's best friend. You might not want to bump your wife. You could think about bumping your mama, but everybody else is fair game because it's the last lap. You gotta run it, and it. I mean, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it. I mean, obviously, Team Hendrick did,
Oh,
as
yeah.
Jeff Gordon made comments about how Joey Logano can expect payback for that. So
Yeah,
I
in
don't know
general,
if
though,
it'll
you're
come
not going to
this
do
race.
that
I don't know if
at
it'll come this race
a
or
rate.
another one.
You generally not going to do that at a racetrack this fast. Kansas is a fairly fast racetrack. You're not going to do it somewhere fast like that. You'll probably want to wait until you're at a short track, or even think about it at a road course in some of the tight turns there, if you get it.
So, question for you, Mike.
Yo,
Could it come at Texas Motor Speedway in the
No.
All-Star race?
no.
Since that's an all or nothing race, whether you don't get no points, no stage points, no.
No, your goal
points,
on that
it's
is to hurt him enough to take away points. You don't want to hurt him as a person. You don't want to injure him, but you want to take away points. You want to hurt his chances at the end of the year. I don't think you'll do it at a meaningless race. You might. Sometimes those are the best places to do it, but I don't know. Rich, you won once again in Darlington with 180. I came in second with 148. Easers in third by 1 point behind me. Dupo and Funkhouse had 94 and 93 respectively. Rich, you have gotten over 100-point lead over everybody, almost 163-point lead over everybody. And I am just as many points behind everybody for last place. Rich, we're heading to Kansas, like you said. I really like Kevin Harvick in this race, but I don't think picking him 3 times in 4 races, I believe, is a smart move. So I'm going to go with Martin Truex Jr., get him 2 times in 3 races. So I'm going to have to start looking outside and maybe picking some other guys. But it's been working for me so far. Rich, who are you picking?
I'm actually going to go with Kevin Harvick. Looking at the track history,
Yeah.
there he always seems to run in the top 10. So I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick this week. I thought about picking William Byron, but you just don't know where that payback is going to come. Is it going to be him doing the payback? Will it be another Hendrick driver if they're down multiple laps and no chance of winning the race? Is that call going to come in from Gordon or Rick Hendrick to say, all right, do something, Logano, you're not going to win this race anyway? So
well, look for that.
So that's
this
why I'm not going
weekend
to pick
on Sunday
FS1. It's still going to be on the cable network.
We should
But
probably make that.
Lane.
We should probably make that a track that we go to in honor of Solomon's birthday. Generally, it's that weekend, which is this weekend. Today is Solomon's birthday. Happy birthday, Solomon! We appreciate you. So we should make that trip one of these days. And this has been the NASCAR Corner, presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, on 5th Avenue. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs, either in person or online on their eBay store. That is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Okay, keeping making right turns on the diamond. The Cubs recap. Rich, they were 2 for 4. That's what you predicted. That's what happened. Man, I did not think they were going to win any games. They shocked the Padres last night, and then they actually had a great game by Kyle the other night, and so 2 games, they kind of deserve those, I suppose.
Yeah, you take them anywhere you can get them,
Yep.
especially with the way this team is playing, is expected to do this year, and how they're just playing in general.
So
So
we
I
need to
don't
talk about it. The over-under is 75 and a half games. Do you think they're going to make it?
know
Okay.
that they're not going to win it, because I think even if they're on track to get to that 75 wins around July, I mean, they're gonna you're not gonna the team that you're seeing right now as the starting lineup. I'm betting if those guys have any trade value, they're going to try and trade them.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
and hopefully that doesn't mean Wilson Contreras, but I think that it will.
yeah.
And I think you're going to see the back end of the bullpen being
Does-
traded away for whatever you can get in return.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see many of our rookies end up on that trade block.
No.
But man, depending on who they are, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be, because they're in full rebuild mode, and if you don't think that a guy's gonna make you good by the time he makes it's contract time, you might as well sell him early, sell him cheap, and get a lot more out of him than you ever hoped for. But that's just my pseudo thoughts on it. Rich, this week we have 2 against the Diamondbacks. We are not including tonight's game against the Padres. And we have 3 against the Pirates, and then 2 against the Diamondbacks in Wrigley. So 2 in Arizona tomorrow and Sunday, 3 games in Chicago with the Pirates, and 2 games with the Diamondbacks. Rich, how many wins do you think they're going to get?
Since they're gonna have to use the back end of the rotation against the Diamondbacks out in Arizona, I still think they can get 2 wins this week.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a 1-win week. I think it's hard to get one against the Diamondbacks It's going to be hard. They are a streaky team. We don't know what's going on with them, but man,
They're doing better than the Cubs.
They are.
And the entire NL West is really good this year, because I mean, even though Arizona's in last place, they're still above 500.
yeah. Okay. I'm going to give them 1. You're giving them 2. So we had a no-hitter this week, a rookie no-hitter.
Yeah, Reed Detmers of the Angels
Yeah,
did a no-hitter with I think it was under 100 pitches.
nice.
And
I think you said
only 2
94.
strikeouts.
Yeah, wow.
Only 2 strikeouts. So he got a lot of outs from ground balls and fly balls. So,
He's got a manager that's going to let him do that, though.
yeah, it wouldn't have surprised me one bit that if he was pitching for the Dodgers, he probably would have been out of there by the 6th or 7th inning.
If he's pitching for the Dodgers, if he's pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays, if he's pitching for the A's.
I don't think the A's would do that, but maybe
Really?
even the Yankees.
Yeah. All the teams that are
They
buying
more have
into
an
this.
analytical.
Yeah, all the teams that buy into analytics are teams that I think would have probably pulled him. So, makes you wonder, would the Cubs have pulled him?
I don't
David,
think they would have.
see, it's going to be
I mean,
one of those hard
they
things.
let Kyle Hendricks go 8 innings in the win against San Diego this week. So,
And I think the key is how bad the Cubs are. You got to give.
that's something exactly. That would be something that you could put on the season highlight reel,
Yep.
or that instantly becomes part of the kind of like the pregame intro.
Yep.
When they're announcing before the Cubs games, before Pat Hughes yells, and the Chicago Cubs baseball is on the air.
Yeah.
That'd be a part of that, like season, like big moments in the season.
Yeah.
You
So
have that call.
I don't think the Cubs would. I think the Cubs management would want to, but they would also understand that the marketing side feds don't do it. So I think they would. I think they'd have to let it go, but it'd be a struggle, and there'd be a conversation about pulling him with the guys that are the puppet masters for David. Did I say that out loud?
That's all right. The other thing that kind of make news are headlines in the MLB. The questionable or bad umpiring, no matter depending on how you see it
Yeah,
as a fan.
you know what? It is getting to the point where, Rich, are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Steady yourself. Make sure you're nice and steady. I'm not 100% opposed to the robo ump at this point in time. Okay, I didn't die. That was hard for me to say, Rich.
I'd have to agree with that. I'd like to see how it works in game.
Yeah.
Do you see the strike zone adjust based on does the little image on your screen, does it change based on how tall the batter is or how his batting stance is? Does that adjust to it?
Yeah.
Is it if a ball crosses the strike zone and it's on that imaginary box and it hits the line, is that a ball or is that a strike? Or does that come down to a judgment call behind on the home plate umpire or whoever is that's watching the game telling the umpire to say ball or strike?
I actually heard a great argument about this, and it's specifically what you're talking about. And it comes from somebody that you might be surprised about saying it.
All right, who is it?
Randy Johnson.
All right, what's the big unit have to say about it?
He said that the strike zone has to be lowered because anybody that can hit that top of that strike zone is just gonna paint that top of that strike zone every day, all day, and guys will never be able to catch up to it. Because 95 miles an hour at the top of that strike zone is unhittable. It just is.
And if they can hit the line on a consistent basis,
Yep.
it technically has to be called a strike.
Yep.
If that's how it's going to be interpreted.
The big unit himself said we need to lower where the strike zone is to give guys a chance. That seems a little crazy to me that he would be the one to make that call, but I like it.
Yeah, so that's sort of a wait and see.
Yep.
I think if the umpiring continues to be a problem and it never leaves the news cycle, I think you could almost see it almost next year, especially if they're testing the robo ump all the way up in AAA now.
Yeah, I would not be upset if they talked about it.
Maybe a season to where it's a mix between you would see that, all right, pitch track says that that's a strike, but the umpire still has, the home plate umpire, it still has the right to overrule the call.
I actually think it should be the opposit. I think it should be a veto from upstairs, not a veto from downstairs, but that's just me. Okay.
But that would also slow the game down if you had the option of, like, if you got the person in the mic saying strike and you got the umpire saying nope, that's a ball, just to spite the change in their profession.
No, what I think it should be is if the guy calls a terrible call, the guys upstairs should automatically say no, change it, and it would be a job. It would cost them a job. So, Rich, off of the diamond onto the hardwood, the Bulls are eliminated. The Suns are tied with the Mavs, 3-3. Game 7 Sunday night. The Bucks the Bucks are tied. You have leads still on here. The Bucks are tied with the Celtics. 3 and Game 7 is Sunday night. Currently being played, the Warriors Grizzlies. I'm guessing that's going to go to Game 7 Sunday night as well. Rich, how's hockey
we'll have
going?
more to talk about on that next week. The hockey, your pick of the Maple Leafs are tied with the Lightning 3-3. They're going to have Game 7 on Saturday. The Wild are out as they lose to the Blues 4-2. My pick of the Avalanche to win it all swept the Predators in the first round 4-0. And the Hurricanes will be playing in a Game 7 against the Bruins on Saturday.
I actually watched some hockey this week. I enjoyed it. I might watch some more next time I get a chance. So the NFL, as we've talked about this year in particular, has been able to stay in the headlines. We've had 2 weeks in a row. The last 2 weeks we hadn't talked about them. We're back to talking about them. The Bears, they gave the lineup. Rich, I'm not gonna give whether I think it's over under. I am just gonna give whether I think it's a win or a loss, and then we'll determine at that point whether we agree with the over under. We won't say what it is yet. Rich, week 1, 49ers, Bears. I think it's in Chicago, but I don't think that matters. No, the 49ers don't know who their quarterback is. The Bears do. We're going to go with the Bears. That's going to be a win. They're going to win week 1.
I can't give them a win there. The 49ers looked good last time going up to the NFC Championship game, even if they have Trey Lance under center. But I also think that if training camp plays out and they still see that Jimmy Garoppolo gives them the best chance to win, Trey Lance will still sit in the wings another year if they have to.
Okay. So you're going to give them a loss.
Right,
week 2.
I'm going to give them a loss.
Week 2, the Bears versus the Packers. That's a loss. In Lambeau,
in
the frozen tundra, that's a loss.
Yeah, I can't come up with an excuse on how that would be a win for him.
Rich,
all right,
week 3, probably I'm going to guess this is your first win.
I am going to give them a win against the Texans.
Okay.
They're a young team. They're trying to figure things out. And I still don't know why they hired Lovie Smith other than
You know what?
I don't know.
I'm giving them a win too. I'm okay with the Lovie Smith pick, but I still will give them a win. Then they go out to New York to face the New York City Football Giants. Rich, what's your take?
I think that they can go into New Jersey and get a win.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It is Jersey. Everything's legal in New Jersey. Bears then come up to the Great White North. We need to talk about that week. We'll talk later. Loss.
I think the Vikings could be sneaky good this year. I think getting a coach that's more offensive minded and new ideas, fresh ideas in there, and they had a pretty good draft, so I think that they could get that win.
Then the Bears have a short week. It's a Thursday night game. The Bears, Commanders. Who you got?
This is a tough one because I think this could be one where I change my pick based on how the Bears and the Commanders are both looking once we get to week 6. So I'm going to give them a win right now.
I'll give them a win too. Then we go up up the road from Washington, get up to Boston.
No. The Commanders game is in Chicago.
Oh, it is in Chicago. You're right. Okay.
New England to face the Patriots.
You're right. That actually makes me think that they win that game even more. They're going to lose against the Patriots. Bill Belichick's better than anything that the Bears have.
All right, week number 8, they stay on the road, and they're going to go to Jerry World to take on the Cowboys.
Oh, man.
I'm going to give them a loss here as my initial thought.
Yeah. Then the Bears have the Dolphins in week 9. I don't know what to make of the Dolphins yet.
Exactly. They've really invested in speed on their offense with their draft pick of Waddle last year and bringing in Tyreek Hill.
I got to give them a loss.
But they have a quarterback.
I got to give them a loss.
I'm going to give them a loss right now as well. Tua's got the tools. Now they need to see whether they need to pick up his 5th-year option or sign him to a long-term deal because Mike McDaniel can make it work.
Probably the easiest win of my night. I'm going to pick the Bears to win this game. It's against the Lions. I know that it's a division game, and you never count it as a solid win, but it's at home. It's against the Lions. We got to win that game, right?
I will give them a win for now, but this could be another game where I might change later on when it gets to that week.
What are you doing with the
11,
Falcons in Atlanta?
Yeah, week 11, they're going to be in hot Atlanta. The Falcons don't look good. They could be going to a rookie quarterback in Desmond Ridder by this time.
Yep.
So I'm going to give them a win.
I was going to give them a win. I'm giving them a win too. Bears Jets win. You don't like that call. You're right.
The Jets have made a lot of good changes.
They did. Ugh.
I'm going to give them a loss for right now.
Okay. Then the Packers come to town.
Loss.
Okay, that was. I'm giving them a win. We're gonna split the series. Hey, guess what,
Okay.
Rich? Week 14, I guarantee you they don't lose.
They're not going to win either.
They're not gonna win. That's the bye week. Week 15, we see the Eagles coming to Chicago. Do the Bears win or do the Eagles fly? I think I know what I'm gonna pick.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I agree. Bills and Bears in that's a loss.
Yeah, that's a loss. If there's no use debating that, that's a loss. The
Yep.
Bills look like a really good team this year.
Um,
Week 17, they go to Detroit to take on the Lions.
I'm gonna put that as a loss.
Yeah, I like the loss too. Even if they race for last in the division, there's the talk that it doesn't seem like the Lions really quit on Dan Campbell.
Nope.
They play hard for him. I could even see the Lions maybe even sweeping the series and getting that win in Chicago too.
If the Lions, here's the problem: if the Lions get out of their own way and they let Dan Campbell continue to do what he's doing, it's a loss. If they are still struggling by that point and ownership is dumb, it could be a win because he gets fired. If Dan Campbell gets fired, it's a win. But
I don't think he's getting fired. I think they're going to...
I agree.
They gave him a long-term deal for a reason.
I agree,
So
Rich.
I don't think that there's going to be any problem.
But how many times have we seen the Lions do something stupid towards the end of the year? Okay. And then the Vikings come to town to end the year. I got to give them a loss.
Yeah, I got to give them a loss too. The Vikings could be playing for a playoff spot.
Rich, oh man. How am I hotter than you on the Bears? I have them at 8 wins. I don't think I like that pick. I don't like 8. I don't think they win 8. But I'm going to go with it.
I don't see him. I don't see them going to that. I don't see them getting the 8 wins.
Yeah.
But there's matchups that could go either way. The Commanders game could go either way.
Yep.
I think the Dolphins game could go either way. Maybe
the Packers and I know that
even the Packers.
The Packers games, as much as we both agree and we hate the Packers are a great team, and as much as we don't think that the Bears are a great team this year, there's no reason to think that they can't win. They always show up to play the Packers really well, and especially when it's at home. I'm going to stick with 8, which means I'm picking the over this year. Last year you had the over, I had the under. It's 7.5. I think I honestly think that 7.5 is a good line. And I think that you'll probably get a good chunk of bets. So yeah, okay.
But as always, Mike, these aren't set in stone. This is just preseason picks.
Yep, and we haven't
got revealed.
Yep,
the schedule just got revealed. You don't know what could happen in training camp with some of these teams. You don't know.
Yep, Aaron Rodgers could break his leg and not play the year. Like I'm not. Yeah. I don't want that. Honestly, I don't want that to happen. I don't wish any harm on someone physically. But he could have something go wrong and not play well. He could get the yips,
or maybe the wide receiving core that the Bears, many people thought neglected through the draft. Maybe
you're calling that a wide receiver core.
They picked up a couple of wide receivers if you count the guys that were drafted. If you include the guys that were undrafted free agent signings, I think. Okay.
Yeah. So also
that's what we have it at right now.
Yep. And we'll give you our picks every week. Okay. Also, we have to give you the last bit of NFL news this week. Tom Brady, again in the news, not to be outdone. He's going to Fox after he retires. Do you like this? Do you not?
I don't know. I mean, he's a guy that talks. He's football talk, tight-lipped, gives you the generic soundbite. So I want to know what he's like.
That was Tom Brady. That was New England Tom Brady. Tampa Tom has been much more open. He does things like do podcasts, and he does stuff like that. He's become much more open up. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good thing, and I mean, he's making huge amounts of money.
He's going to make more money over the life of that television contract that he made over his entire playing career, and that probably doesn't even count if he says, "Well, hey, with how I'm doing and how your ratings are doing, I deserve to be the high. We need to renegotiate my contract because I think I deserve to be the highest paid announcer." So that doesn't even count. Like if Collinsworth or Romo, Collinsworth or Romo get bigger contracts, that doesn't mean he couldn't go to the network and say, "All right, you know what? I think I need a little bit more money now."
It's not about Tom being being there for games. It's him being there week in and week out, dealing with sponsors. He's gonna be huge amounts of money to them. It's no contest. It was a great move. Good job on the NFL. Also, in our quick hits, we have that the Kentucky Derby winner is Rich Stake at 80-1 odds.
Yeah, that was the horse with the second longest odds to ever win the Derby. I think the last one was on like a 93 or a 94 to 1 that happened like all the way back in like in 1913.
Do you know what his odds were at an hour before post?
No, I don't know what his rate.
99-1. If you would have bet an hour before the race and put $1,000 on him, you'd have $99,000 in your pocket today. How crazy. But
he was also a late addition to the field as well.
Because 'tis the bomb scratched. Zandon took third. That means I win. Rich Stake is not racing in the Preakness. So no Triple Crown option this year.
No, so we'll give you our picks for the Preakness next week.
Yep.
As that's going to run on the 21st, with the Belmont Stakes being run on the 11th.
Yep.
And no spoiler alert this week, as the Masked Singer was a best of / behind the scenes episode, or maybe it was like how they got to the finals type of episode.
Yep. So Rich, let's give the people who's your prediction. You have the Ringmaster, the Firefly, and the Frog Prince. Who's going to win?
I'm going to go with the Frog Prince. I really liked his. Maybe I don't know if
I agree. I like him a lot.
I don't know if it's just the freshness of not seeing the Ringmaster.
Yeah.
In a while, and there were also some. I mean, for the most part, as long as the Firefly doesn't win, I'll be happy with it.
I am taking the Ringmaster, and I agree 100%. If Frog Prince wins, that's fine with me. I just don't want the Firefly. Rich, do you have any shout-outs before we end the show?
You mentioned him already, but Solomon Stroop.
Yep.
Getting a birthday, and your birthday is going to be going on Friday.
A week from today, yeah.
A week from today.
So, Solomon, happy birthday. We are celebrating your birthday. Enjoy. And, folks, thank you so much for listening. This has been a quick episode. We thank you so much for listening. God bless. See you next week, probably Saturday, and we will likely have a guest in studio. But, Rich, it's time to do what?
Roll that outro, Mike.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.